Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? It's your boy Isaac,
And this is your boy Bryce.
and we are brothers on tennis. And folks, we have had such an eventful week. It has been outstanding. We just got back actually from Indian Wells. We were there the first week. And Bryce, I know like you, we are running on a bit of fumes, but boy, oh boy, wasn't it a great week?
It was an excellent weekend, excellent all the way around. I mean, in terms of the tennis that we got a chance to see, in terms of the people that we got a chance to meet, in terms of the BOT fam that we got to engage with. It was a full and busy, but enjoyable and productive week.
Yes, 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 it was. So, folks, yeah, we're gonna come at you and just kind of go through all of the things that we went through because it's kind of a blur. So it'll be fun to talk through everything because man,
Yeah.
so many fun aspects that we encountered this week. So yeah, yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, and excuse me if you see me look down because I had to take a few notes because, like Isaac is saying, I went to lunch with some people today and they were asking me questions about this week. And I saying it was a blur, Isaac, is the perfect description because it's like everything is running together in my mind. And they're like, well, who did you interview here and there? And I'm like, it was somebody. I can't remember now. But anyway, enough of us complaining, and let's get to it. So, um, that first day, the Monday, March the 4th, you know how we start these weeks. It's with one of our favorite events with some of our favorite people, the Taste of Tennis, and it was held at the Hyatt Regency in Indian Wells. It was for the very first time, which was a surprise to us, and all of the years they've been doing this, this was the first time that the event was a sellout event. So there were no tickets to be sold, and we played our typical role there at the Taste of Tennis. We were on the green carpet. We had an opportunity to interview coaches and players and different people, some BOT fam. We got a chance to interview on the green carpet. So that was an amazing event. And Isaac, just tell me, what did you think about that night at the Taste of Tennis?
Oh, it was just a wonderful event. I mean, it's always great, working with AYS and just our second family, if you will. We've done this with them for so many events. I mean, I don't have enough hands to count them. So it's always nice to really collaborate with them and shout out to the whole team. I mean, again, you got your Penny, your Brian, your Judy, Fira. I mean, we got Richie, you got some of the new folks on board, like
Quentin, what's
Quentin.
up?
Exactly, doing our shout outs there. So just so many, just wonderful people that are a part of AYS that put on the Taste of Tennis. And just the fact that we were able to just talk to so many of the players, so many of the coaches, and just enjoy a really lovely event was really great. And just really quickly, they also actually held, and this was something new this year. They actually held sort of a little bit of an event prior to the Taste of Tennis where we got to actually have some drinks. They had the mayor of Indian Wells there. They had, I think it was, I can't remember the gentleman's title, but it was some type of a golf course that I guess he was it the Hyatt Golf Court?
Yeah,
Whatever the
Indian
case
Wells.
may
Yeah.
be.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So we got a chance to just kind of talk with them at the pre-event, kind of get that set up to then go to the event. And it was just really wonderful. Just overall, just the folks that we met there, the interactions that we had. It was just a great, great event, which again, the Taste of Tennis always does. It's just,
It,
they are phenomenal.
and Isaac, talk a little bit about the artists that we met and Shay's Army and the whole vibe that they had going on.
That's right. That's right. So they did an auction for Shay's Army, which it was a young lady named Shay who talked about basically her journey dealing with cancer, and really her whole driver was around, just because you get past cancer doesn't mean that it's over. There's still a lot more support that people need, and that is really what she is driving for, is that continued support as you are dealing with the after effects of having had cancer and battling it. And so we had, I believe it was Tyson, who was the artist, who did an auction there at the Taste of Tennis. Wonderful young man. We met him at the pre-event along with Shay. And it was just so great for them to be able to, again, do the painting live during the Taste of Tennis, and then they auctioned it off thereafter. So really, really cool for a great cause. And I commend Taste of Tennis for really reaching in and doing something with the local community there at Indian Wells. It was just well done, Bryce. Everything across the board with that event was just well done, and we saw the results of it. Having a sold out event for the first time, which again to us was amazing, because we always thought that the Taste of Tennis events had been sold out. So the fact that this one had done that just shows how much they tied into the community on this one, and it was fantastic. It really was.
And I will add on to that. We'll have to maybe ask Penny one day, you know, how close to capacity they've gotten in the past. Because to me, if you had asked me, I'd have told you every taste event I've been to, I would have figured it was sold out. That's the way it felt. Yeah. So many people, and if we didn't have to mention it to you, one of the stars of the night was the food. I mean, just Isaac, your toffee place was there again, and we could just go on and on about the food. So the main thing we want to get across to you, though, is, and once again, I don't think we knew this before we got involved, you can buy tickets to attend these taste events, and they are absolutely worth it. So if you have a taste event coming near you, I know they're going to be in a couple of weeks in Miami, and then I know they're going to be in New York before the U.S. Open. Please, it's an event not to be missed.
Absolutely. Like I said, we had a blast, you guys. Definitely, it's worth the coin. That's for sure.
Absolutely. So let's take it to the next day. So Tuesday, we were a part of another event, which was a kind of pro celebrity type of event. You've heard us talk about it. It's the Desert Smash. It was held at the La Quinta Resort and Club. And the host this year was actress Charlize Theron. She was representing her charity, which is the Charlize Theron Africa Outreach Project. It is dedicated to investing in the health and safety of young people living in South Africa to create a more equitable future for all. And one of the things that Isaac and I said at the event, we didn't know Charlize was from South Africa.
Right.
So that was another great event. You had a combination of pro players and celebrities there. Just to name a few, we saw Reggie Bush, and then of course you had Azarenka, and you had Francis Tiafoe, Casper Ruud, Ons Jabeur, Donna Vekic. It was a great day. And then to my surprise, and we missed him because we were trying to sneak out a little bit early, was Novak Djokovic showed up, and he played a mixed doubles match there at the end of the event. So they had a very successful event. And Isaac, this is our second year attending. What were your thoughts on how the event went?
Yeah, the Desert Smash is such a fun event. I mean, it's a really great way to see, some of the professional players and celebrities come together and do some things around tennis. There was a little matchup. I believe it was it Vekic and Jabeur? I can't remember who played the singles. Yeah. So they had that going on, and just again, seeing some of the folks out there playing tennis was really nice to see. I forget I always forget his name, but he plays tennis. He's an avid tennis player. I think his name is Gavin. He used to be
Gavin Rossdale.
Gavin Rossdale. There you go. So he was out there swinging the racket.
Mhm.
Just yeah, it was just really awesome seeing all of the celebrities in attendance. And again, just kudos to the Desert Smash crew. They did such a wonderful job, just like they did the last year, putting the event together. And great location, just a very warm, very chill environment, and it's just a lot of fun. It was really a great event.
Right. And thank you to Ryan and Andrew for allowing us to participate. And if you've been following us on social media, I have been slowly getting out content from both the Taste of Tennis event and the Desert Smash event. I probably have only put out 25% of the player interviews we did the night of Taste of Tennis. And I actually have some on-court footage of play from Desert Smash that I'm going to put out here in the next couple of days. So if you're looking at coming out to Indian Wells, it's not just about the BNP Paribas Open. You have these pre-events that are happening that really kind of allow you to ramp yourself up to the tournament and have a really good time. So we highly advocate for both of these tournaments, both of these events for you to participate in if you are ever in the Indian Wells area leading up to the tournament. So
Absolutely.
Going to Wednesday, Wednesday built upon some relationships that we had developed at both the Taste of Tennis and the Desert Smash events. If you've been watching any of the coverage at all, you've probably have seen Red Foo is back. He is back in the house, and he is promoting a new activity that he has called Time Ball. And we were invited to participate. I unfortunately was not able to, but Isaac was. And Wednesday morning, Isaac went out and experienced Time Ball for himself. And I'm just going to let him talk about that.
Y'all, I'm trying to. Time Ball is a blast. It is so much fun, and I mean, in a nutshell, it's an app that Red Foo and Ransom, and I believe I don't want to throw out any other names that may not be involved, but definitely Red Foo and Ransom. They built an app on your phone that basically allows you to kind of play a king of the court type of a scenario on tennis courts. And so basically you have two people on one side and you have about 5 people on another side. And the goal is to dethrone the two kings of the court. And so you're playing points, and basically it's 2 points. If you can win 3 points against the king of the courts, then you become the king. And it's just this rotation. They track the amount of time that you're on the court. It is competitive, which is what I like about it. It's just not about a hit around. It's really about you trying to get to the king of the court and then stay there as long as you can. And again, you accumulate time and you go through, I think it's either 5 or 6 rounds of play to build up your time. And it's a workout. I was sweating. I was panting, because Isaac is not in tennis shape right now, but it was so much fun. And there is, of course, a video out on IG that we have posted. They have posted of them talking to me afterwards. But folks, it's really, really a great app and a great just overall experience. So it's coming, and we are hoping to bring some of that to you, right, Bryce?
Absolutely. We're in conversations right now with some of the local tennis groups that we're familiar with in Southern California in terms of having Time Ball brought to their sessions and for them to try it out as well. So be out on the lookout. Me listening to Isaac, it sounds like it is a blast, and I can't wait to participate myself. So that was kind of from the tennis angle on Wednesday, but also on Wednesday, there were 2 big stories that kind of broke to us, and probably none bigger than the first one, which was Rafael Nadal was actually going to be pulling out of the BNP Paribas Open. And we had kind of gotten a little heads up about it, but we really weren't sure, so we were kind of keeping it to ourselves. But Wednesday, Rafa made it official, and it was so impactful that the tournament decided to issue refunds to people that had purchased tickets once they had announced that he was going to be the Thursday night headliner. And Isaac, we knew some people that were even impacted by that.
Yeah, exactly. It's disappointing all around because again, we want to see Rafa. I mean, Rafa has kind of made it known that his intentions are to, pretty much leave professional tennis after 2024. So of course, everybody is trying to get that last match, the last eyeful of Rafa play. And so for him to unfortunately get hurt and not be able to play was just devastating. I mean, the minute we heard it, it was just like, oh God, I hope that's not true. It was just like, no. And like you said, we knew people that had tickets to go that Thursday night. So it was just again, very disappointing across the board. But we wish Rafa, nothing but health. We want him to be healthy as this clay court season begins to come around. But it was just very disappointing that he wasn't able to really get out there and play for the fans at Indian Wells.
Right. So we're keeping fingers crossed that he's doing what he needs to do to be healthy and to come be the Rafa that we know on them clay courts. So I think everybody's got their fingers crossed for that. The second thing that kind of came across the news from us, and this one is not as groundbreaking as the Rafa news, of course, but it was announced that the Netflix series Breakpoint, which they have done 2 seasons of, and we were happy to be in a little piece of at one of the episodes in season 1. They have decided to not do any more future seasons of it. I think it did okay, but it didn't catch fire like the ones they did for the racing and the golf. And I have my own kind of theories on why it hasn't. But Isaac, I just want to kind of catch your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, we heard the news. It was disappointing because I actually have watched every single episode of the Netflix Breakpoint, and I thought they were fantastic. I thought it was a great way to see the players behind the scenes, get to see them a little bit more, raw, if you will. But of course, there was always the Netflix curse and this, that, and the other that went on, and so what we don't want it to be is a distraction, that's for sure.
Right.
But I truly thought that it was a really good series. I thought it was well done as far as the production and what have you. So it was very disappointing for me as a fan of tennis, knowing that I enjoyed seeing kind of the other side of the players and a little bit more of the of what you don't see typically. But,
right.
At the end of the day, you got to make that money. And I think that that's what it's really all about is, you got to make them coins. And
Right.
if they aren't making the coins from it, then, move on to the next project. So a little bit disappointing. What about you, bro? What were your thoughts on that when you heard it?
So here's my thing. You and I are different. We're not your typical viewer on Netflix because we are huge tennis fans. So I liked Breakpoint for the same reason you did. It allowed us to see kind of the behind the scenes stories of these people that we follow, that we know. But the problem that tennis has, period, right now, is that they don't really have any superstars. And when I say superstars, I'm not talking about superstars within the context of the tennis world. I'm talking about when I talk to somebody that doesn't watch tennis regularly, okay, who are the people that they know? And in the past, even if you didn't really watch tennis that much, you knew who John McEnroe was, right? You knew who Venus and Serena were. You knew who Andre Agassi was. Who are those people? Now, like I said, step back from being a tennis fan and knowing a lot of people. When I talk to some of my friends that don't really watch a lot of tennis, even Djokovic, who we're saying is, the greatest of all time, they're like, yeah, that guy, the joke, whatever his name is, they don't even really know his name, right? They knew Federer, but he gone, right? Some of them kind of know Nadal, but he about to be gone.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think Coco Gauff may be the most recognizable name in tennis in terms of people who don't really follow tennis, but she wasn't a big part of Breakpoint.
Right.
You know, so I think Netflix was disappointed that they probably got a lot of tennis viewers that watched it, but not a lot of your mainstream not tennis viewers. And those are really the people that you're trying to attract. But that's Bryce's opinion. The only thing I have backing me up is cancellation. You know?
There you go.
So keeping it moving, the next day, Thursday, even though the tournament started on Wednesday, Thursday was our first day on site. So once again, shout out to the Indian Wells Media Accreditation Department. We appreciated getting the opportunity to more fully cover the tournament this year. And like I said, we've got some segments we've done that I think you're going to absolutely love. So make sure you stay tuned to our social media for this next week through the end of we'll probably be releasing things all the way through the finals of the tournament, but I won't spoil any of that for you right now. But, the first day for us was just really kind of learning about our media access and, getting our bearings and seeing, of course, as always, BOT fam there on site, reconnecting with some of the people that we always love, Prakash, and you know who our people are, right? Getting reconnected with them. What did you think, Isaac, on our first day on site at the
First day was insane. I mean, we ran into, again, like you were saying, people that we had initially worked with. We actually parked next to our guy Rick, who, so we're just coming into the facility, and boop, we get out of the car, he gets out of the car, and it's like, hey, Rick, hey, and Rick was a part of I can't remember what the name of it was, but it was
the LA Bash.
Yes, LA Bash in December that we covered. So if you guys remember the footage that we put out in December, he was the main head over that event. So we saw him, and of course at that event we ended up seeing the Kudlas, both Tyler and Dennis, and from that, on the first day, we actually went out and watched Dennis play his match. Unfortunately, he came up a little bit short against the French player, but man, oh man, was it a great match. It was so great just being there, seeing him play, seeing him on court. And again, that was just one small aspect of what we got coming into that event on Thursday.
Yeah. So it was a great day. It was a long day, but I think it set us up for a very productive Friday, which if you've been following us on social media, you've seen that we were able to get I think it was about 5 videos that we did of touring the grounds of the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. So for those of you who've never been to the tournament, hopefully you got an opportunity to see, the merch area and the food court and the practice courts and, all the kind of the mainstay areas of the Indian Wells Tennis Garden. And we were just happy to bring that to you. But what also happened on that day, see, just like you, we are tennis fans, right? So we've kind of got our short list, or maybe it's a long list, I don't know, of people that we still want to meet or even potentially have on the show. And someone who has been on that list, and I know, Isaac, you have been advocating for this person, we ran into, and what happened?
Oh, y'all, we ended up meeting Steve Weissman. You guys know, I'm just, I'm a big fan of Steve's. I love his energy. I love the fact that he has always turned up to 10. That is what I like. Come on, bring it. And weirdly enough, with all of the people that we know, like Prakash, like Chanda, like Lindsay Davenport, I mean, Nick Pereira. We know so many folks at the Tennis Channel, but weirdly enough, we had never come across Steve Weissman. And on that first day, we're going up to media, and sure enough, first of all, we look back and we see it's Prakash, so we give him a wave and a pound, and then we look at the other way, and here comes Steve Weissman coming, and got an opportunity to meet, chat with him. We actually seen each other a few times back and forth in the hallways during the event, and spoke with him. Just an awesome gentleman, and we were able to. Well, we are in talks as it relates to bringing him on the show and doing an interview, which I am really, really excited about, as I know Bryce is as well. So yeah.
So that was a really, really great thing that happened on Friday. So that day kind of ended on a very high note for us. And then yesterday, which was our last day on site, but probably was the busiest day, definitely was the busiest day that we had on site. We had two groups of attendees that came on Saturday that we have some sort of a relationship with. The first, one of our original BOT fam members, Cedric Flags. A matter of fact, Isaac, can you talk about that? You know it a little bit better than I do.
Yeah, well, Cedric Flags is just, he is a brother from another mother. But just simply put, that is our dude. He actually has a meetup group that he sponsors along with a couple other people in the Sherman Oaks, Van Nuys area, and they play every week. And he just decided, basically, again, Cedric is with us. He knows about Brothers on Tennis, and based on our coverage from last year, it decided to, see if there was anyone in his group that wanted to, make a trip to Indian Wells. And I believe 14 people signed up. So they bought, all of them bought tickets. So they came up on Saturday. So we ended up meeting them and taking some photos and just chatting with them. But yeah, Bryce, it was so very cool that our brother Cedric was there, and that we got a chance to talk to him and his group. And then reversing back to the whole time ball thing that we talked to you all about earlier, we're going to see if they are interested in that as well. So just, again, folks, it's just all about connections. And that was one of the great aspects that we were able to see on Saturday with Cedric and his group.
Yes. And so, there's footage of that coming for you to see. So look out for that. But also on that day, another group that was there, and if you follow Brothers on Tennis, you know the relationship we have with the Pete Brown Jr. Tennis Program in LA. And they came down to the tournament, Marty Woods, executive director, because Peggy Michael, and if you don't know who she is, just look her up. Peggy and Michael's Michel. She got some Wimbledon hardware in her closet, so that's all I need to say. But she was looking for charities to be able to support with the tournament, and she reached out to Marty, and she provided 102 tickets for Marty to bring kids and their families up to experience being in Indian Wells. We captured so much of that. I got so much footage on that. We'll be sharing that, of course. But what an amazing experience for upcoming young tennis players to be at one of the biggest tournaments of the year. It really, really felt good to help support that. Isaac, any thoughts about what happened there?
Oh yeah, Bryce. I mean, that's the one that warms my heart. You know what I mean? Because we've worked so much with Marty Woods and the Pete Brown Jr. Tennis Program. The fact that they were awarded, something like that, to be able to come to Indian Wells, to expose the kids to being, on the grounds and to see match. I mean, not that they, haven't gone to matches before or what have you, but still for it to be done the way that it was, which was, right. Folks, there was an entire section of a stadium that was allocated to the Pete Brown Jr. Tennis Program. So it wasn't like it was a seat here, a seat there. It was an entire section. Right. They had security. that was blocking folks saying, no, 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 this is for Pete Brown Jr. tennis program kids. And it just gave me chills, man, because that's what this is about. It's about giving back, and seeing the kids, letting them experience certain things. Just in talking with their parents, they were so very excited to be able to come on and just, feel the energy of being, at Indian Wells with their tennis playing child and or children. It was a great experience. We got our boy Kondo, gave him a shout out on the court after the match, after the Pegula match. He gave them a shout out. And actually, we even saw him and took photos. Folks, it was just a really, really wonderful time. And it just shout out to Indian Wells, shout out to Peggy for just being so awesome, so awesome. And allowing that experience to happen, because like I said, for me, it just warmed my heart. It was awesome.
It was really awesome. And also part of that experience, Mike Sullivan was there, and you probably know him from, he's the guy that paints the murals every year of the champions. And we've been talking to Mike for the last couple of years, actually, wanting to get an interview with him to talk about his work on doing the murals. We've never been able to kind of make it happen, but because of the Pete Brown Jr. tennis program and them coming up, he was a part of that, and we got a chance to interview him. So we're going to be sharing that with you sometime in the next week as well. So that was great. And since we're talking about interviews, just as excited as Isaac was about starting to line up the interview with Steve Weissman, we had a contact that put us in contact with one of my favorite coaches of all time, and that is Craig Boynton. And you know him from coaching all the Americans, right? Stevie Johnson, Sam Querrey, John Isner. He's currently the coach of Hubie Hurkacz, which is going to lead me into the next thing we'll talk about. And we got in contact, we chatted, and he's going to come on the show. So that's a really, really big win for us, one that probably would not have happened if we were not there. So thank you to the individual that was involved in making that happen. And thank you to Craig for being open to coming on. So that Saturday was a fire hot, enjoyable, full, packed out day. And the way we ended Saturday, speaking of, look, I'm going to just pass this over to you, Isaac. Speaking of Hubie Hurkacz.
Yeah. So we actually were sitting in some really good seats on Stadium Court 3 to watch the Gael Monfils Hubie Hurkacz match. And talk about a way to end our time at Indian Wells. That match was, I mean, okay, if you're a Hubie Hurkacz fan, you probably weren't all that pleased. Let's just put it that way. Right. But to see Gael Monfils play the way that he did, that was circa 2019 when he was playing Djokovic and looking like he was in the form and ready to win a Grand Slam. That to me, that's how Gael Monfils looked last night, folks. It was incredible tennis. It was one of those things where I don't know that even if Hubie were playing at his full game, that he would have still been able to handle what Gael was bringing on the court, because that was Gael at his best, especially that first set. That first set, I think, Bryce, what was it? I said he made maybe 2 errors, and that was the 2 double faults that he hit. Literally, I don't know that he hit any ground stroke errors. That's how perfect he was playing that first set. It was amazing. It was stupid, actually. Go ahead, Bryce.
And I haven't had a chance to, because we've been so busy today, I've had a chance to see what happened to Hubie. Obviously, something was physically going on with him, and I'm sorry for that. But Gael's defense, well, we know he's a madman when it comes to his defensive skills. But when Hubie would try the little cat and mouse type stuff, it's like, dude, you are playing the master of that. You're not going to be successful doing that. And it was very impressive to see Gael play that well, because we are Hubie fans as well. Let's be clear.
Yes.
But that was like you said, we could not have ended our time at the BNP Paribas Open any better than that.
Yeah, tremendous, tremendous. So again, it was a great way to end the tournament. And again, like you said, I just want to make sure that we again properly give a shout out to the media group there at Indian Wells. I mean,
Right.
again, we had Sharon there. We had Don there, who gave us the tour of the media
Right.
center and did such a great job. We met Anita. We saw just so many different people
Poncho.
there.
Yeah.
Poncho, just
Matt.
yeah, exactly. Definitely got to shout out Matt. It was just a really, really awesome time. And so again, thank you to the Indian Wells media folks for allowing us to have that access, because again, it hopefully when you see and or experience the content that we're putting out, you'll
Right.
understand the benefit as well.
Exactly. That's an excellent way of putting it, Isaac. So we've talked a lot about the activities that went on, and we have a few minutes left here. We are at the halfway, about getting close to the halfway point of the tournament. Isaac, let's talk about any key results that have happened on the men's and the women's draw.
Yeah. I mean, just again, a lot of great play. I know that before we started the recording here, I saw that Lehechka was able to take out Rublev, and in my opinion, that's a big win. That's a
Yes.
really big win, because Lehechka is a young gun. He's trying to really establish himself. He won a tournament earlier this year, so for him to be able to step up and take out Rublev is
Right.
not an easy out. He's not one
Right.
of those folks that oh, I'm gonna get a top 10 win. Oh, I'm gonna get it on Rublev. No, don't think crazy. So he really had to put in some work to get that victory. So I thought that was like, okay, that was a big one.
Right.
How about you guys?
On the women's side, match we saw yesterday, Coco Gauff, literally on the brink of defeat, came back and had an amazing win. I think she was down 5-2 in the third, if
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
She came back and had showed that, you know what, if you're going to take her out, you're going to have to be in it for the whole game. She was playing Burrell.
Right.
And it's funny because I leaned over to Isaac and I said, I'm not used to hearing Burrell's name like in terms of really being out there scrapping against the top players like that. But even though she lost, props to her. She played her butt off. She had an amazing day, but Coco showed why she's the number 3 player in the world and why she ain't going nowhere.
Exactly. You got to have plan A, plan B, plan C. She probably implemented all of them on that day. But, at the end of the day, Coco is an athlete and she has a great mind. And to me, she knows how to figure things out. And that's exactly what she did in that match. It was great to see. So hopefully she will be able to find her form and be able to do some things in the latter rounds. I definitely want to give a couple shout outs to some folks that unfortunately did not win their matches, but still, props to you. First and foremost, Haley Baptiste. Good job taking Madison to a third set tiebreaker. Really, really good showing, young lady. I mean, like I said, you are fighting the good fight, and it is just great to see. We love your game. We love seeing you out there. Glad that you are healthy, and just want to give a mad shout out to that. And of course, Bryce, I'll just say this one and let you take it over. The 5-1-3.
5-1-3. Our girl, Peyton Stearns. Look, the future is bright for Peyton. Peyton gives you that Katie McNally, Ash Barty, type vibe, and she's so young. Coached by our guy Eric Heckman, who we just love to death. She went. I mean, unfortunately, man, and it maybe stings a little bit, the day after, had 3 match points on Sabalenka in the third set. Unfortunately, she didn't pull it off, but she's got to feel good about how she competed and how she fought. And look, she's got to be on people's radar now.
Absolutely.
Got to be on people's radar. So shout out to you, Peyton. We love you, and we're looking for big things from you. I also want to mention, Isaac, that unfortunately the ladies defending champion, Rybakina, had to pull out due to some gastrointestinal type issues. So the defending champion is out.
Yeah.
Fortunately, she started off the year well. 1,000 points is still a lot to lose regardless, but I think she will, hopefully she'll recover and she'll come back and continue the form of tennis that we've seen already this year from her.
Absolutely, absolutely, and speaking of hot players that shocking loss, how about Ostapenko going out? I mean,
right.
Did not see that coming. She's been playing extremely well, in 2024. And Angelique Kerber was like, "I'm old school, sis. I know you. I've seen you. I know your game. I got you." And she put that lefty swing on her. And talk about the moms. The moms are getting it done. They are working it out in this tournament, y'all. Don't get it twisted.
No, because Kerber, you just mentioned just a few minutes ago, took out Cooter.
Yep, exactly.
And I'm looking on a TV right now, and Wozniacki is showing Valinets what time it is. So, and we already know Svitolina out here doing her thing, and that inspired her husband to get out here and to relive some previous form himself. But I would say overall, most of the seeds have pretty much come through to this point. I do want to shout out our guy, Arthur Fees. He got a good upset win over Davidovich Fokina. He has Casper Ruud next, so that's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. And I'm just looking and see. Oh, and Tiafoe.
Yeah, that was the unfortunate one, but that's that it's unfortunate, and I'm hoping that Tiafoe is going to be able to really step back and take a look at this game and really try and figure out what it is that he's really trying to do. Because you've got Miami, and then it's the clay court seasons. I think it would be a good time for him to really just reevaluate his game and where he's going.
Right. And that's a tough out, Tsitsipas. I mean, that's a little unlucky from a draw standpoint, if you will. But we definitely want to see him back towards the top of the game where he belongs. Exactly. So anybody else you wanted to highlight before we?
Yeah, no, I think we pretty much, go ahead. Who'd you remember?
The match we watched yesterday. Blinkova.
Oh, yeah. Blinkova upset Pegula. That's right. Which again is that's so disappointing because we love Jess Pegula. And it's, and that was actually the court where they had the Pete Brown Jr. section sectioned off. So we were able to really watch that match with the entire group of kids and their parents. And it was just it was great seeing it, but unfortunately Jess couldn't pull that out. And, I think with anything, Bryce, again, when you make a major change in your camp, there's some readjustments that are going to need to happen. And so I don't know that this will be uncommon, at least in the short term for Jess. Her results may be a little bit sporadic until she can kind of settle back in and get another coach, so on and so forth. But that definitely was one that was like, oh, wow. Okay, she blinked.
And mentioning that court that we were on, that match was followed by another mom who we didn't mention, Naomi Osaka, who is starting with each match to look more and more in form. She, of course, is still not quite there yet, but we didn't expect her to be there at this point yet. So the fact that she had a very good win yesterday against Samsonova, and and no disrespect, but a very winnable match against Elise Mertens coming up.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that this is what I'm hoping to see from Osaka is, play Indian Wells, play Miami, have some good results. And in truth, Bryce, I kind of really want her to do what we had advised Chris Eubanks to do last season, which is take the clay off and honestly even take the grass off and really use it as a training block. Now, I know that's going to be tough because, of course, we have the Olympics, which is going to be on clay. So you kind of want to get some reps in. But I really feel like it's to Naomi's advantage to again use this window for as a training block. So then when the summer hard courts come, she can really be ready to get back on her favorite surface and hopefully make not only an impact but make a run at the U.S. Open.
Right. I can't argue that that line of thought. That look, we saw how it worked out for Chris.
Exactly. So there you have
it. Right. Well, my friend, we are here at that time that we really want to stop at, because we will talk their ears off for the next 3 hours if we don't control ourselves here. But everyone, really enjoy the second week of the BNP Paribas Open. And all I can say is keep your eyes on our Instagram and Facebook. There is a lot of content coming your way over these next 7 days. So look forward to that. Any final words, my friend?
No, just reiterate what you said, brother.
All right. Well, everyone, thanks for watching and or listening. And we will be back next week to talk about the final results. So with that, on behalf of the podcast, this has been your boy Bryce.
And this is your boy Isaac.
And we are Brothers on Tennis. Everyone, be well.